Good morning.
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 I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that your cell phones are turned off on the off or vibrate position. And also, please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast, Channel 99, AT&T U-verse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel and WMGJ Radio. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alvin Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Brian Harbison to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you pray with me? Almighty God, we thank you for today. We thank you for the blessings of life. And God, we know that we take things for granted so often. And we just pray, God, today with all the rain that you'll protect the citizens of Gadsden as they travel the streets, that you'll keep them safe, be with the buses as they take the children home after school. We just pray, God, that you will just provide any relief that needs to be provided. And we promise that when all is said and done, the glory and the praise will be yours. We ask today for wisdom for this council with the decisions they have to make. God, we thank you for the sacrifice they make for being here. Pray that you'll be with the mayor and his staff and just continue to watch over our city. And God, help us to keep our eyes pointed toward you, and we'll know that any blessings that come to us will be from you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Public Safety Committee work session and council meeting held on February the 5th.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of February the 1st through the 7th.
So move. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamation. Our first, an item unfinished business, and there's no action by the council. It has been abated by the owner. And that's for 307 Howell Circle in District 6. On our agenda, we have 9 through 19. Our next public hearings are resolution assessing nuisance abatement liens against property. And this is for grass cutting that has already been performed, and we have 11 locations. Our first location is 1122 Springfield Avenue. This is District 1, $196. This is Rita McCant, in care of Charles Moore and Charles Moore. We have 1421 Springfield Avenue, District 1, $256. Sheila R. Garrison in the state of Alabama. Number 11, we have 130 Washington Avenue, District 1, $196, and this is the state of Alabama and Frank Sampson. 12 is 1110 Stillman Avenue, District 2, $196, Brian Stetzel in the state of Alabama. 13 is 303 West Lake Drive, District 2, $316. Rita Ferrison in care of Ray, Boyd, Ray, and Coggins. Number 14, we have 437 Evans Street, $316, and that's Ted Kirby Jr. Number 15, we have 1318 Ellison Avenue, District 6, $136. This is Helen Clay in care of J.C. Clay. We have number 16, This is 3411 Walnut Street, District 6, $136. This is Denise and Gerald Lancaster. We have 403 Wilson Street, District 6, $196, and Jerry Humphrey. 405 Wilson Street, District 6, $136. This is the state of Alabama. And John Kernucha. And number 19, 407 Wilson Street, District 6, $256, state of Alabama, and John Kernucha. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition of any of these resolutions? Sir, will you come to the podium and give your name and address?
Charles Moore, 1120 Springfield Avenue.
You said your address is?
No, 1703 Kansas Street, also District 1.
Okay. And you're speaking on?
Behalf of Rita McKent and Charles Moore, myself.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in dispute of the bill that I received on that property as far as the grass being mowed. I don't know if they sent Miss McKent a letter, the 14-day letter, but I purchased it from her. I never received a letter. The city passed a resolution to tear the house down in Miss McKent's name. Just so happened, I got in touch with Mr. Harbison. He come out and stopped them from tearing it down once he found out I owned it. I asked him what was the nuisance. He wrote it up, and I fixed everything that people could see. I have had no more issues until I receive a letter that y'all cut the grass since I own it. And that's what I'm disputing. I cuts my own grass. Now, I'm not saying you didn't cut it, but you had no reason to cut it. I cuts my grass anywhere from 7 to 16 days. I have several pieces of property over Gadsden. And I also mow other people's property to help them out, to keep the city from cutting their grass.
Mr. Moore, is it possible that these cuts were done before you came into ownership of the property?
It's possible. That's when I need to know exactly what dates and the dates that I purchased it and filed it at the county. And I'm also saying that since I became the owner of the property, you have no reason to cut my grass, because they told me a foot high. That's why it takes me a week to 2 weeks to cut the properties that I do own. And I was going to get some of my neighbors in the neighborhood and people that know property that I own to come up here, speak in behalf of me keeping my properties up. Mr. Harrison, if it's memory reluctant, this is not the first time I have received a nuisance from the city. Every time I receive it, he give me days. I straighten out the nuisance. If I don't straighten them out, I call them, they give me more time. Because at one time I was driving a truck for a living and I could only work on it on the weekend. But when I come home, I would take care of the nuisance. This is the first time that I have been billed for a nuisance that's supposed to be occurred on one piece of my property.
Mr. Moore, just quick clarification. You said in your opening statements that you were here to speak on 1120 Springfield. This is 1122.
Yeah.
Was that just a misstatement?
Yes, it's
Okay.
both of them. It's
Okay.
both of them. It's two pieces of property.
I just wanted to point that out in case
Right.
there was a discrepancy over the lot.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have the time, I guess the thing, what we'll have to find out is the date, the cutting.
Right.
And the date that you purchased the property.
Right.
Because if it was purchased after the cutting, then this lien would be justified.
Well, if it's justifiable, when I bought the property from Miss McKent, I had an attorney to check out all the records, lien hold and everything. It came back clear. So whether the lien was filed properly, I don't know. But I know when I purchased it, it was not a lien on the property.
And I just now, you would just now be assessing the.
Yeah, we would just,
So there's not a lien on it right now for this
It's
grass
just
cutting
needed.
as we speak.
Yeah, have you
Yeah, we have-
spoken with Miss Henson upstairs?
No,
You haven't, okay.
I hadn't talked to anyone upstairs.
Yeah, so there might be, and again, Mr. Harbison can provide some guidance, but there may be some value in having a conversation with the person that sent you the letter, or that sent the letter out, that either you got or Miss McCants.
Right.
And then talking through how you may be able to resolve it from that perspective. So,
Okay.
again, that's just a recommendation. If
Well,
I were
I
in
know
your
that
shoes, that's what I would do.
You all passed a resolution on condemning the house, and was, they're gonna tear it down. Well, I purchased it from Miss McKent, and I don't know how much time it took for them to show up, but they showed up to tear it down. And once the neighbors called and told me, I called Mr. Harbison, he come out and stopped them. And I took care of the nuisance. So the only thing I'm saying is, I have had several pieces of property that I received abatements on, and I straightened them out. And if I'd have received a letter during the time that they saying that this grass need cutting, I'd have cut it. But from the time I purchased it,
Yeah.
the grass had been cut.
Yeah, so I guess I would say that kind of history is probably more important in a conversation with the person that sent that
Right.
letter out. So if you want to, I'd have a conversation with them. You may be able to clear it up today.
Okay, and who would that be? Bobby Lucas or Mitchell Troop?
Mr.
Oh, Mr.
Harbison,
Harbison.
he can help you.
Oh, okay.
He can give you some guidance there.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Bloney. I got one. Oh, yeah. All right, that's it. So I need to talk with him?
Yeah, I
you
just
can
talked.
talk with him after council.
Okay. I can do
He taping you.
Are there any other properties, grass cutting that someone wants to speak in opposition to?
Mr. President, if I may, if there's no one else to speak, I would like to take number 16, 3411 Walnut Street in the amount of $136. The owners are Denise and Gerald Lancaster. I'd like to take this off the list, please. There was a mistake. We were trying to build 3411 Walnut Street, and actually the piece of property we cut was 3409. We also tore a house down at 3409. And that's if we may, please, on mine there, number 16. Just like a motion to disapprove, please,
Second.
number 16.
Clerk, will you take the vote on that particular item?
Okay.
Number 16.
Item number 16, there is a motion to disapprove the lien. Those in favor, let it be number saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to disapprove the lien, to not
Mr.
assess the
President, if
lien.
we may, I think this gentleman here
That's-
might.
Yeah.
Does he need to?
Doesn't
Does he need to
someone,
speak with us, Ms. Harbison?
403 Wilson.
sir, do you want to speak in opposition? Could you give us your name and your address, please?
Hello. I got a grass mowed, and right before then, 4 days before, I had mowed it, but the yard was growed up real bad next door, and they mowed it. And I come by here to try to get it straightened out, and they said they'd have the guy to call me, and never did, so I thought they just dropped it, but then I got this mail. But they just never sent me no notice or nothing on it, and
Mr. Humphreys, do you live at 403? You live in the White House there?
To
On the-
what?
Do you live in the White House on the corner?
No, it's just empty lots. The one that on the corner was the one that was growed up so bad, it's been condemned. And when they mowed it, they just mowed mine, and I come on up here and I was gonna try to get it straightened out. But they had supposed to got the guy to call me. It wasn't Mr. Harbin, I believe they told me somebody else. But it was over it, but he was supposed to call me, and I was gonna try to see what I could do about getting it straightened out. Never-
Going down Wilson Street in the 400 block, it's on the right past Sudi, correct? That's the property we're talking about.
Do what?
Yeah, that's the property we're talking. I make a motion that we disapprove, charging it at 403 Wilson Street. I know the lots he's talking about, and just, it was 405 what we cut there. I know what he's talking about also.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's actually, when you go down Wilson Street, 400 block, it's on the right there, across Sudi. There's 2 or 3 blocks there, 2 or 3 vacant lots. One was for sale, and his is a second lot there.
So so you're saying that 403 is a vacant lot?
Yes, ma'am. That's the one I was referring to today that had the for sale sign on it. So I make a motion, we disapprove 403 Wilson Street, please. It was supposed to be to the other one. It's kind of complicated when you look at those lots. It looks like one big lot, but it's a split lot there.
403, 405, 407 are all
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
right there, side by
Yeah.
side.
I second the motion pending.
Just take off 403, please, Mr. Humphreys.
Was there a second?
I second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
This is for item number 17. There's a motion and second to disapprove the lien. Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to disapprove.
If I may, Council President, once we get to where we'll be able to take pictures of this property, everything we've got, when we get it going, be able to take pictures, have a timestamp on there, what the yard looked like before, and there won't be no dispute, when somebody comes up here, we'll have a picture of it, we can look at the lot, and we'll know exactly what's going on.
Just to, just to support the discussion, is there anything that this body needs to do that's standing in the way of us getting to that point?
We had actually, I was in a meeting today of Councilman Back, and Councilman Back, you can help me on this, chime in anytime you want to. I think they said it would be later in 2019 before we could even do any of this, the equipment and stuff we needed. Is that correct?
That's right. There's a system that we use, Tyler. You're probably familiar with that. They have some plug-ins for other departments. And so we, in the administration meeting today, presentation from Eric and from MIS department and from Shane, that we're going to have that capability. They just had a demo last week, and so they're looking for an ROI and for a bid. And when that comes, and that's probably going to just start moving forward. But it'll take probably, third quarter of this year, so we'll have that. But it's a lot of good technology coming through that Tyler system, but I think we're going to be really well served, screens and things and connectivity.
Okay.
I'm hoping when the Public Works Committee meets this next time, since this equipment's not going to be available in time, that we can work something out. They can take a picture on their phone, download something and get it for this year, so we could not run into all this stuff we're running into.
I believe we've had a conversation in committee, and Mr. Harbison, if you'll come forward.
Yeah, what Councilman Back was referring to is the fact that eventually we will have the same software that the police department, fire department, and municipal court are now using, but we have an in-house written program to allow us to be able to identify with the satellite, if you will, where our crews are working. So that crew leader will stand on that lot. He will take that picture. He will send that back to City Hall. And this can happen today. And of course, it won't happen until we cut our first lot here in a few weeks. But and what we'll do when Tyler is on board as far as that software is just tie everything we're doing now into that. But we do have the capability, and we are going to use that. So everything that's cut here forth will have not only a picture attached to it, but the correct identification.
And it'd have a picture of before and after cut, correct?
That's a public works issue. I know that pictures can be taken, if you want them taken before and after, during, whatever, it's still going to be attached to that digital file. So there'll be no dispute.
Good. We won't have to run into this anymore then,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, we discussed that, I believe it was in the Public Works Committee session. So as soon as that gets started, then we'll have that evidence that we can use here. We have item 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, and 19. And 9.
9 also.
And 9.
You haven't disposed of 9 in any way.
Huh?
You haven't disposed of 9 in any way at this point.
We need to table 9, I think, so he can work with Mr. Harbison.
Okay.
The 1122 Springfield.
Okay, what is the council's pleasure on item 9?
Table it for 7 days. Is that what you said? That's it.
Second.
All right, I make a motion that we table item number 9 for 7 days.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 7 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 7 days.
Now we have item 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have item 15, item 18, and item 19. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt these resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt all 8 remaining resolutions, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt all the resolutions.
Mr. Moore, what this does is you have 7 days, and you'll be able to talk with Mr. Harbison and maybe clear this up within that time period, but you've given 7 days on this item.
Then I must return or receive.
Not if you come to a
No.
resolution,
No.
then it's just, this is assuming that you'll be able to work it out
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
7-day period. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Item 20, this is a resolution accepting conveyance of property located at 314 Albany Avenue. The executors of the estate of the owners have offered to donate this property to the city. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The resolution accepting conveyance of property located on Mathis Street, this is Lot 8 through 11, to 11. The owners have offered to donate this property to the city due to the difficulty of maintaining the property. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is accepting conveyance of property located at 523 Evans Street. The owner has offered to donate this property to the city due to the difficulty of maintaining the property. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
A resolution authorizing addendum to agreement with Alabama Power Company. This is authorized by resolution number R33618. This will allow the city to perform additional repairs to Delilah Street, which was damaged during a power expansion project, and to be reimbursed $6,700 upon completion of this work. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is authorizing agreement with Thomas M. McElrath, architect, and this is for architectural design service for the gymnasium floor replacement at the Raymond Hill Community Center located adjacent to Ure Brown Elementary School and the Mitchell School Community Center, and the amount is $18,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution, and final, is authorizing agreement with S&ME Incorporated in order for professional services related to the removal of the Lowhead Dam on the Big Will Creek, and the amount is $20,000. The chair will put this item in committee, which will be our finance committee, and I ask that it be put in this committee for an indefinite period of time.
Second.
Clerk, are there any discussions? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for an indefinite period, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table.
Is there any new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have one, please. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent, please. This resolution authorizing an agreement engaging a lobbyist, Fine, Getty and Associates LLC to monitor all legislative and administrative activities related to legislation or proposed legislation of direct interest to the city of Gadsden. This agreement will be for 1 year with an additional 2 years extension unless canceled by either party with a 30-day notice. And this is budgeted for $5,000 per month, please.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
I move to adopt, please.
Second.
Clerk, are there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Department reports. Remarks by the mayor and council. We start with Councilman Reed.
Sure. I'd just like to say that after many, many years of waiting around to get representation in Montgomery, we finally passed an ordinance, a resolution this morning doing that very thing. We, years ago, went with Washington in lieu of Montgomery, and it's been a travesty to me ever since. I opposed it at the time because I knew we had to, for the benefit of our IDA, community development, projects like I-759, that we needed representation to get it done. And now, thank goodness, we finally passed it, and I appreciate every vote we got. Thank you.
Councilman Cannon.
I'm going to not have anything to say today. I'm just going to say it at a later time. Thank you.
That's a dumbfounded thing.
Councilman Wilson.
The only comments that I have, I do want to point out or recognize our Parks and Recreation Department. I'd ask for a few weeks to try to get some new soccer nets up over there on Stripling Elementary School's soccer goals, and Miss Wethington with the Parks and Rec Department did let me know last week that those nets got up. I see so many kids in our community out there playing on those soccer goals, and not having nets on the goals themselves was actually an issue. Balls going out into the street, things like that. So thank you. It may seem like a small thing, but literally having those nets on those soccer goals impacts hundreds of kids' lives in that downtown community that play on them every day. So thank you to the Parks and Rec Department for everything you do.
Councilman Batt.
Thank you. I wanted to give a report. Last night, I had my second community meeting. It was at the Ure Brown Elementary lunchroom. Appreciate all the folks coming out in the inclement weather. We had a good meeting, and I think we got a lot of things accomplished. My third meeting for this quarter will be February the 25th. It's going to be at the First Baptist Church Family Life Center, which is at the corner of 6th Street and Walnut Street. And to remind you, what I'm trying to do is my district is in 3 different sections, basically. So I've had an East Gadsden meeting, I've had a country club and Clubview meeting, and now we're going to have a downtown meeting, or what I call the Edenwood section of my district, of District 4. Anybody's welcome to come. You don't have to live in District 4 downtown Edenwood area to attend this meeting, but it'll be February the 25th at 6 o'clock, and I'll be giving further notices about that. But I appreciate everybody that came last night from the city that helped to make the meeting a success. And thank you to Principal Katie Holland at Ure Brown Elementary for hosting the meeting and opening up her school. And I will mention that there was an announcement last night that Ure Brown is going to construct an outdoor classroom. It's kind of involved with the STEM or the STEAM learning, and it's a hands-on type outdoor classroom. It's going to be a really neat thing for the students at Ure Brown, and they've decided to name it the Robert W. Eccles Jr. Outdoor Classroom. And so all the council members up here have graciously, and the mayor have graciously contributed money to that effort, and we'll be hearing more about that in days and weeks to come. But it's an exciting time, and it's kind of a neat way to let Bob still live on through the school down there that he's so supported for so many years. So very proud of that, very proud of the principal and the teachers of what they're undertaking, and for choosing to name it the Robert Eccles Outdoor Classroom. So thank you all for your contributions to that. I know the Eccles family is very humbled and very touched by the love they continue to receive from our city and our city council and mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Worthy.
No comment, Madam President.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to encourage everyone to continue to support the Black History Month events that are taking place throughout the city. Thank you to all of those who, through the school system, through the Gadsden City Schools, are coordinating and putting on events. Also thanks to the Gadsden Public Library and the Center for Cultural Arts for all the work that they're doing also to support events. So, and I know I'll miss a few as I'm trying to name people, but again, there are a number of events, and do want to thank those who have taken the time to actually conduct those events, and do want to ask that we all continue to go out and support them where we can. That's it.
Mayor.
Yes, on the hiring the lobbyist, there's a lot of big projects coming down during the state, probably this time, depending on what they do, and we need to make sure we can get our share to do some of these things. We got 3 or 4 big projects here locally in Etowah County, so we think that maybe it's going to help us out a lot.
I would just like to continue thanking the people who do attend our council meetings for your interest in what goes on in the city, and I would continue to encourage you all that we do have committee meetings that are set up for various committees, and we'd just like for the public to come, and if you have a voice that you want to speak during those particular time, you don't have to get on the agenda, but just come to those committee meetings so you can voice your concern, your suggestions, because our committee meetings are basically They're information gathering so that we can, report out to the full council. But I appreciate all of those who attend on a regular basis, and we thank you for coming. If there's,
I do have something, Madam President, I forgot.
I don't know if I should listen. Go ahead.
It's just about the election. We about to have an election on April the 9th for the school board. Qualifying started today, am I correct? Ms. Ivor, would you go over that, please?
Absolutely. We started qualifying of candidates this morning at 8 a.m. It will go for a 2-week period, and so 2 weeks from today at 5 p.m., we will close out the qualifying, and we'll be going from there. The election day is scheduled for April the 9th, which is the second Tuesday in April, and the runoff comes 6 weeks later if it's necessary, so that will be May 21st.
Thank you so kindly.
And I believe, I'm not sure if I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think that you'll be getting information about voting. So look in your mailbox, read the newspaper, look on Channel 99, so that there will be no excuse that you can give this time for not coming out and voting. That's your right to vote. If nothing else, we'll ask for an adjournment.
Motion. Second, third, fourth, fifth.